All right, guys, we're down here at Excavator Operation. I got Justin here from Hyundai, and I got a whole list of questions you guys left me in the comments, and we're going to sit down and go over them and get some answers for you. All right, guys, here we are. We got Justin from Hyundai. I'm going to say it that way for now. We'll get to that in a minute.
Perfect.
All right, so you traveled all the way in from?
Atlanta, or Norcross, Georgia.
Norcross, Georgia.
Yep, that's where our headquarters for
and
the
you
US
are
is
in
at.
beautiful Derby, Indiana.
It's beautiful. It's I love it. You got a river right here, beautiful breeze,
beautiful
great
machine,
setting.
Beautiful machine behind us.
That's it. That's it.
All right, so we've had at this point when we're filming this, we've had 5 or 6 videos on this machine air.
Yep, that's correct.
My awesome subscribers have got questions for you.
Well, that's good. Hopefully we got answers.
Because I'm not the guy to answer them, so I figured we just, what's the old saying, go straight to the horse's mouth?
Yeah.
So you're my horse today.
We'll try to be.
All right, so first off, before we get too far into this, we got to make sure you got the qualifications to answer these questions.
All right.
So, how long have you been with the company?
I've been with Hyundai for a little over 4 years, about 4.5 years.
All right, and what position do you have with them?
Right now, my position is as a national account specialist. So I work with national accounts.
Fancy.
It does, doesn't it?
Well, I'm not a national account. What are you doing here?
Well, you know, I drew the short straw, I guess.
Get stuck with me, huh?
Yeah, that's it. But before that, I was product specialist, and then transitioned to just work with mainly national accounts. But I drew the short straw, so.
So just to a quick definition of a national account, that'd be a company that's nationwide.
Nationwide, covers multiple dealers' territories. Usually has a large fleet of equipment. And the purchases go on a national level. So
definitely not me.
Yeah, maybe not you. Might not be you. One day you might be. You never can tell. That's what everybody aspires to, right?
I don't think I do anymore. I've been big. I kind of like the small gig.
Yeah, it's kind of fun too, right?
But all right, so we know a little bit about you. I think there's a lot of misinformation or misconceptions out there about the actual company itself. As far as how long it's been around, what all they got their hands in, how big a corporation it really is. So just a few details on the company.
Sure. This question always comes up. Of course, probably the thing that Hyundai's most known for is the automotive side. You see automotive dealerships everywhere, and everybody says something about automotive. The company was all one big piece at one point. Automotive is split off early 2000s.
So whenever it started, it was one big company.
It was one huge company. And now it's 2 big companies instead of one huge company. So automotive is its own division, and then heavy industries is the other piece.
Okay, now there's the excavating or construction equipment, it falls under heavy industry, correct?
Yeah, so Hyundai Construction Equipment is a part of heavy industries.
Okay.
It runs as its own company within heavy industries.
Gotcha. And so in heavy industries, they do offshore oil well platforms, they do shipbuilding.
Yeah, so they're actually the world's largest shipbuilder. They own 3 of the 5 largest shipbuilding companies in the world. Offshore oil platforms, solar power, wind generation stuff. They do all kind of different things when you think about it. And actually, when you talk about shipbuilding, the best engine that's out there on the market for shipbuilding is a Hyundai engine.
Really?
Yeah. So
I had no idea.
Yeah, they're a huge company, and construction equipment is a piece of that.
So I guess my point of that question, or where I'd like to go with that question is sometimes unfairly, I think they get compared to some other pop-up brands. And everybody always has concerns about dealer support in 4 or 5 years or part supply in 4 or 5 years. I don't think they realize how big a corporation they really are.
Right. And we hear that from time to time. But we have a fairly large dealer network that's steadily growing, adding the right pieces to the puzzle. So adding the right dealers that would offer the proper support. But Hyundai's been in the United States since '92.
Yeah,
we've been here for a long time.
That actually takes me to my next question. Your current headquarters is Norcross, Georgia.
Norcross, Georgia, so we're on the north side of Atlanta.
And you guys have been in the U.S. since, what did you say, 92?
1992.
Okay, so how many dealers do you currently have in the United States?
We're approaching right at 80 dealers with approximately 185 independent or individual dealer locations.
Okay. So yeah, so for an example, it'd be Rico. They have 22 locations.
Something like that, yeah.
So you got, even though you have 80 dealers, they may cover multiple states within that. So.
Correct.
And you guys are actively adding dealers, correct?
That's correct. The dealer network is always expanding and changing, adding the right mix. So if we have an area where it's not currently covered, and you're watching this video and you think, hey, I might make a good dealership, hey, we'll
reach out.
Yeah, reach out to us, and we'll for sure make connection with you.
So, all right. So we got your credentials. I guess we'll assume you're qualified to answer my questions now.
Quasi-qualified, right?
We know a little bit of history about the company. It's been kind of cool learning about the company because I was a little naive and I had some misconceptions that ended up being false, and kind of learning as I go away. So on to the machine itself. A lot of comments on this, some good, some bad. Hyundai builds a lot of their own components, drive motors, pumps, valve bodies, a lot of stuff that would be a component part on a competitor's machine you guys make in-house.
That's correct. That's correct.
I guess the question is, why?
Well, I'll give one good example would be hydraulic pumps.
Okay.
A lot of folks go out and they go to another manufacturer to make that hydraulic pump for them. What we do is we purchase those plans for those hydraulic pumps, and then we build those hydraulic pumps in-house. And there's a big reason why. When you control your manufacturing, you control your quality. You know what metals were used, what components were used, what tooling was used. You know all of those pieces of when that component was built. So you control that quality process from when the material's purchased to when it was actually completed and installed on the machine and tested. You control it from start to finish, and you really have control of it.
Now, in all fairness and in full disclosure, you guys don't necessarily design that. You buy prints and then build them, correct?
Yeah, and there's a lot of manufacturers that do that. We actually were talking to some folks from ZF. We use their transmissions that they build in our wheel loaders. And
okay.
they partner with some automotive companies to do complete designs on drive lines for some automotive companies.
So you do work with other companies, but the end game is to build it all in-house.
Yeah, that's the end game. You want to buy quality components whenever we have to, and we want to build as best equipment that we can.
All right, so the next one, this has been a hot button topic on all the old comments out there. And I got a feeling you're going to be on their side, not my side.
Let's hear it.
Are the steps tie downs?
Question for you, Mike. Did you read the operator's manual?
I did. I read the operator's manual, and I got the Bluetooth working awesome.
That's a great feature on the machine too.
It works great.
It does. It does.
So to answer your question, yes, I did read the manual.
But there was one page that talked about
tying down the machine. I just read one page.
So there is a section on tying down the machine.
Yeah, I never made it that far.
And you didn't make it that far, but
you should definitely do that before you operate the machine.
And contrary to popular belief, taking the plastic off that operator's manual does not raise the resale value of the machine. It doesn't. It actually maintains it because But there is a section about tying down the machine, and the steps are not tie down points. We have 2 tie down points that are there.
So heavy.
We did. Well, it's a Hyundai, so we try to build it as heavy as possible. But those marks and where you see the stickers on the sides of the tracks, those are for lifting,
so
not for tying down.
I should go back to sticker school.
Yeah, we should go back to sticker school. There's an arrow pulling up, and so actually, if you're going to be craning that machine, so you had a position where you're going to be going down into a ship, maybe you were going to be lifting it to put it onto a trailer because you couldn't drive onto. Those are craning locations in order to balance the machine.
All right, so if you guys have watched my previous videos and you've seen me tie down, I was wrong. He straightened me. I get it. So they do work really good though. And I asked Officer Hoover this, and he did give me the stamp of approval.
Hey, well,
So, all right. So here's the next one, and I got a feeling I'm wrong on this one too. I'm batting 1,000 right now. Proper pronunciation. I say Hyundai, but apparently I'm wrong on that too.
All right. So the easiest way to say it and to make the correlation is Hyundai like Sunday. So the Y being silent and the I at the end, that's actually, you pronounce it like a Y. So Hyundai like Sunday.
I failed English class miserably.
So
from here on out, I gotta go with Hyundai.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get that Hooked on Phonics video out again.
Whew, this is gonna be tough. This is gonna be tough, Justin. I don't know if I can pull it off.
Well, I'm wondering where these hard questions are gonna get. Where I'm gonna get stumped here in a minute.
Hyundai. I think they knew what machine I was talking about, because the other one don't even start with the same letters, and it's got a lot less.
Yeah, that's it. Well, the easy thing is we had pictures of it, so they know what you're talking about. So,
all right. So this is actually a good question, and this is a question I talked with Tyler with in depth about whenever I was shopping for a machine, and I even talked about this in my videos where I was shopping. Is several comments. Well, of course it's nice. It's a brand new machine. So I can't answer that honestly, because I haven't operated a machine that's got a lot of hours on it. But you're out in the industry, you see a lot of these machines. Do you have some examples of some high hour machines in action at different locations, or etc.?
For sure. And that's one of the things we take a look at, and I was actually looking at some machines earlier this week. Our machines come with High-Mate, five-year subscription to High-Mate comes with every machine that's sold. I was looking at some machines this week, and customers got over 70 machines, national account of course, and we're looking at some machines that were posting close to 4,000 hours on those machines. And I was looking at codes and things that might pop up, and a lot of those machines, no codes, which is good stuff.
One thing that whenever you talk about no codes, and I don't know the science behind it, and I don't know the engineering behind it, but for some reason the Hyundai machines, so I'm doing this right now, they seem to have a lot less emission code issues as far as throwing emissions codes and anything to do with DPF or DEF or SCRs. I don't know what your guys' secret is, but
we partner a lot with the engine manufacturers. Hyundai doesn't build our own engines for their construction equipment. We do for the ships, but we partner with a lot of those guys. We're one of Cummins' largest customers, so we use Cummins engines in a lot of stuff. This machine behind us, of course, is using a Perkins. We partner with those guys, and we monitor a lot of that stuff because we want it to be easy on the equipment operators and the owners. That it's easy to maintain, and that you're not dealing with a lot of codes.
So we'll move on to the next one. This is a question I had for Tyler as well, just because of my ignorance. I really didn't know. But and I've had this in the comments several times.
Okay.
Well, I would never buy one of those machines. It'll take 3 weeks for a part to get here on a boat. So I guess one thing that I was a little surprised to find is parts pricing is very competitive to other machines. Maybe even a little bit on the low side compared to some of the generic things I priced. Whenever I was shopping for this machine, I walked into Rico, I walked up to the parts counter, I just priced a window, a panel, a door latch, just random stuff.
Right.
One, I wanted to know the price on it, and two, I wanted to know the availability on it.
Okay.
Most of the stuff they had in the warehouse they could get within a day or two.
Right.
And the prices were very competitive. So if you want to elaborate on your parts network and the inventory here in the States.
For sure. So our headquarters there in Norcross, the headquarters office there on the back side of that office is also where our parts warehouse is at. So right there in Atlanta. That does a couple things for us. One, we stock a lot of parts there in Atlanta, a lot of line items, and we stock really deep. One of those things being that we do have to have components coming over from overseas, so we stock really deep there in Atlanta at that warehouse. With it being in Atlanta, that puts us right next to Atlanta Airport, so if we needs to go on a plane to get to the West Coast, it can get there. If we're going north, of course, if it's going by truck, which a lot of these heavy components will have to go by truck, regardless of who it is. Atlanta's a good network point, puts us far enough north that we can get to New York or somewhere like that within a day or 2 days. So parts within the week, if a dealer doesn't have it on the shelf, is good, but a lot of our dealers stock really heavy as well because they understand how important it is for customers.
So would it be fair to say that most major components on a newer machine you could have within 3 days?
For sure. And not only that, we stock a lot of parts for older machines. So
that is one thing I found interesting, because whenever I was at Rico, there was a guy that came in there, and I apologize, I don't know the answers, the model numbers, but it was an older RX series excavator.
Yeah.
I think it was about 13, 14 years old, and ironically, he was wanting a door latch, and the guy got to him in a day.
Yeah, and Tyler was telling us about here the other day. He was talking about a Dash 7 machine, which that's several generations ago. They were looking for some stuff, and the machine we had those parts on the shelf in Atlanta, and that's very common, just because of the population. We use a lot of common parts between the series as well.
Would you say that's going to continue to get better as you bring more and more dealers online?
Yeah, so availability at the local level, of course, as we get more dealers will be stocking parts, because you just have a higher population of dealers, and our stocking there in Atlanta, we are all steadily increasing that as our machine populations here in the States increases.
Gotcha. All right, so now we're going to get to the serious questions.
Okay.
We're going to test him to see if he actually watches Dirt Perfect. So,
all right.
Out of the first video series, what was your favorite video on the 145? And why?
On the 145. Okay, so I like the one where you're doing the tree removal.
That was the first one. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that.
You know how nervous I was during that video? I was in a guy's front yard. I had no room to work, on a hillside, rubber tracks, a machine I never operated, and there's utilities everywhere. Luckily, the only thing I hit was my camera.
Well, it reminded me of a situation where I'd gone out to a customer in Arkansas, and he had a 220, and had reprogrammed the monitor and changed some settings on there, and kind of boosted the power a little bit from what it was. He had it set in economy, and we put it to power mode, and he was doing tree removal with that machine. So I remember that trip, and so yeah.
Yeah, it was, of course, I was like a kid in a candy store. I got a brand new machine. I'm going to go out and tear up the world, and I pull up on the job, and I thought, this is not the best job before the first time.
Well, it probably made you a little bit more cautious, yeah. Right?
So here's another random question. Did you learn anything from my videos you didn't already know about the machine?
Well, it did force me to go look at one thing when we talked about the tie-down points. Yeah, you know, I said, wait a second, that's actually a pretty good idea. I'm like, but wait, is that really how it's supposed to be done?
You need to make them tie-downs, and you guys will have so many people be your It is so easy.
You know, it's always something we were looking for suggestions from customers on things that they'd like to see on the machines, improvements that they'd like to take, because we take those improvements and those customer requests.
I will have to say that because the short relationship I have with you guys, which has been since October, we've talked about a few different things, and one of them you're already in the process of implementing. And you may have been before we talked about it, but the def tape location in the computer right there.
Right.
So, yeah, I guess constructive criticism is something you guys look for.
That's correct. You know, no machine's perfect.
Right.
No machine's perfect. And, you know, always the question you get from a customer is like, okay, you know, what's going to be service and what's going to be support? Out of all my years in the business, which I know for me, I started in the business in high school and working at a dealership, so 20 years here. Every dealership's got a service department. Every dealership's got service trucks, regardless of the brand, and they all break. So we're ever starting on the same floor with that.
Right.
So anything we can do to improve reliability, customer comfort, and things like that, we're always looking at hearing that stuff and taking that feedback and saying, okay, is this going to be something we can implement? Should it be a running change? Should we look at it for the new generation? And we take that stuff and all that customer feedback and put it forward and put it into reports, and we look at it and study it and say, okay, yeah, this is what we need to do. And we were working on some stuff on that earlier this week, actually. So always things happening.
Well, first off, it's been an amazing opportunity to have this machine on the jobs. It's so hard to go on a lot and run a machine and really find out, you know, what the machine's got. So first off, I gotta thank everybody who watches the channel, because if it wasn't for their support, I wouldn't be able to have this opportunity. I gotta thank everybody at Hyundai and Rico Equipment for allowing me to do this. It's been a lot of fun. It's been really cool. Thank you guys for coming down and being part of the challenge today and answering our questions, man. We really appreciate it. So.
Of course. You know, it's been a fun experience, and it's great exposure for Hyundai. And you know, it's not just me doing a walk around video or something telling you about a machine. You're getting you're gonna get it from the other horse's mouth, right?
I see what you did there. It's you know, you can go to a trade show and do a video and look at new paint, but actually seeing it on the job working, that's, if I was looking to buy a machine, that's what I would want to watch. You know, is actually see it out in the dirt, different situations. I tried to put it in as many different scenarios as I can to see how it performed, and there were several surprises. The biggest one was probably the balance. I cannot believe how well balanced it was for being a compact radius machine. Right.
And you know, all those Hyundai excavators that we bring over, even in the standard configurations, we bring them in over here to the States with a little bit heavier counterweight than what we what goes on in some other areas of the world, because we understand how people operate machines here.
Yep.
They run machines differently here in the States than they do in Europe or in Asia. So,
well, I have, that's a very, very competitive machine against any competitor in that class. I don't, I would not have any reservations about owning one. If it was set up the way I wanted it to, which we've talked about this 1,000 times on my channel, it would work for me in a heartbeat. So
awesome. Great to hear good feedback.
Yep. Justin, appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate being here.
We sat here through the cloud, the rain, and the sun. We made it on the first take.
That's it.
For that. All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the Q&A with Justin, but unfortunately, all good things have got to come to the end, and I believe it's the end of the road for us in the Hyundai for now. It has been an absolute pleasure and honor to have this thing and be able to operate and do videos over it. I want to give a huge thanks to Rico and Hyundai for making it happen, but most importantly, you guys. If it wasn't for you guys watching this channel and interacting, this never would have happened. I'm definitely going to miss the machine, but probably even more than missing the machine is missing the guys at Rico and Hyundai. Tyler, Susan, Justin, Ted, everybody I dealt with has just been top notch. They've been professional. They've been a lot of fun. I've had crazy ideas I threw at them. We've brainstormed together. I could go on and on and on. You guys talk about dealer, and dealers are important. I think the parent company is important too. And Hyundai's corporate attitude, I just think, is absolutely top notch. It's been a pleasure working with these guys. But before this thing goes, we're going to brand it. And I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let me see if I can get this back tore off this sticker here real quick. I may have to put you guys down. Bear with me for a second. All right, guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a Dirt Perfect sticker and we're going to put it right here. And if anybody out there rents or buys this machine and sees that sticker, send me a picture of it and I'll send you a sticker and possibly even a free hat. So I'm just kind of curious to see where the machine ends up at. But guys, that's a wrap. I don't know for sure what the future holds for me in a Hyundai machine. A lot of possibilities, a lot of opportunities, but you guys will just have to stay tuned for that part and see what happens. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and we shall catch you on the next one.